Okay, so here's how we would do this question if we were using the Pythagorean theorem instead of the distance formula. We're still going from hyenas to tigers. So we're finding this distance right here from the hyenas to the tigers. Now, if you're using the Pythagorean theorem, what you want to do is use that distance and make it into a right triangle. So we take the distance and we go, okay, if we went over and down, what would that look like? Okay, so notice now we have a right triangle, and we can pretty easily figure out the distance. This is 1 unit, and this is, see ya, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a length of 7. So if we use the Pythagorean theorem here, we have a right triangle. We're trying to find the hypotenuse. So if we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, our a and b are legs. Our one of them is length 1, the other is length 7. We don't know our hypotenuse. That's what we're trying to find. So we go ahead and square those. We get 1 plus 49 equals c squared. Now if you watched how to do this with the distance formula, you'll notice that looks really familiar. That was right in our distance formula also. 1 plus 49 is 50. And to finish up here and solve, the opposite of squaring is to do the square root. So we take the square root of both sides, and our answer is the square root of 50, which is 7.1 if we round to the nearest 10. Which notice is exactly the same answer we got when we did the same example using the distance formula. Okay, let's take a look at the second part of the journey. It says after you visit the tigers, you go straight to the jaguars. So let me get a different color for my line. Okay, so now we're going to go from tigers straight to jaguars. Again, we want to form a right triangle. So instead of going straight there, we take a look at what would it look like if instead of going straight, if we went down till we're even with the jaguars and over. Okay. So here is our right triangle. Notice the bottom, this is have 2 squares, and this side is 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Okay. Again, notice we have a right triangle, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem. That a squared plus b squared does equal c squared. Our a and b this time, one of our sides, our legs is length 4, the other is length 2, and we're trying to find that hypotenuse. 4 squared is 16, 2 squared is 4. We go ahead and add those together again. If you did the example or watched the example using the distance formula, remember how we ended up with the square root of 20 as our answer? We get the same thing here. To get rid of a squared, we do the square root of both sides. And the square root of 20 is about 4.5. So the distance on that part of our journey was 4.5. So our total distance is 7.1 plus the 4.5. Or 11.6 units. Okay? So this is an example of how you could solve that problem using the Pythagorean theorem instead of the distance formula.
Murtaugh High School Community School volleyball game tonight. It was at Murtaugh, and Murtaugh won in 3. Thank you.